Hello?
Grim recording.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Mic check. I think
Hello.
you're
Hello.
working. Nice.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Basically, introduce yourselves.
Go on.
Me, I'm
Go
Bogur,
on.
guys. I stream on Bogur. I like playing games. Play main tank. Currently Forest on Orisa. It's pretty exciting. Under me is Jules Cass.
Hello. I'm Jaws. I cast the Overwatch League.
Yeah, that's
Well, up until
crazy.
recently I did, until Overwatch League ended, sadly. And that's about it. Twitter.com/JawsCast. There you go. There's a plug real quick.
And then, wait, on the right side is Casores.
Hi, I'm Casores. I am assistant coach for the SF Shock now, as of recent. Excited to be here.
And then we have Jofi, the green
Hey,
blob
Bogur,
of poggers.
can you give me mod so I can ban the wrong opinions in your chat?
You can ban the wrong opinions in my chat. Maybe your opinion is wrong.
Right.
Who are
I'm
you, Jofi? Who are you even?
I'm Trophy from the New Kings and yeah.
Yeah, well, are you gonna forget to mention you won contenders? Hello?
Oh, I mean it's not that big of a thing
What
for
do you
me.
mean?
Bogur.
How many
Like,
people
it's
do you
like
know?
every day,
And
bro.
what do you mean you've won once?
It's every day.
You've
like it's
won
whatever.
once, Jofi. Yeah,
I mean that's more than you.
that's true. That's
Bitch.
right. Yeah.
Oof, kinda
Wow.
true.
Dog saying this isn't a tournament. He's already throwing out the shade here. Damn. Well, let's start off with oh, I got a sub. That's crazy. Let's start off with just talking about the current meta, like right now,
Hell
with
yeah.
the things happening right now. What do you think about like Ball? What do you think about Risa? What do you think about like everything that's going on? Well, Brigitte, the Brigitte changes. What do you think about the Brigitte change of 25 HP? Do you think it really changed a lot or no?
One of the worst changes ever made.
25
Making Brig
HP?
better again, bro.
Yeah. that was crazy.
Holy moly. I don't want to play. I don't want to sit and play Brig, dude. I don't want to get ran at by Brig when I play Ana or Zen. They just need to revert that. Honestly, the patch before they buffed Brig, I think was one of the best patches we've had in a long time.
I agree.
If
Actually,
this experimental patch needs to go through fast, bro.
it needs to speed run. I think the last patch was really fun. Like there was everything's been playing, and it was really really cool. What do you think, Casores? You're the coach. You're the
I
brains.
mean,
of
I
the
think
operation.
as a Zen player, Josh shouldn't be complaining when he gets pocketed by a Brig all the time. But I do think, Brig just
True.
enables the stationary gameplay where you just sit somewhere and then people have to come to you, you stun them, GG easy. So this revert patch is actually really good. I think that's a good sign. And I like the fact that they're able to break this like 25 HP barrier, because before you only had characters rounded at 50 HP. So I like the fact, for example, I like the Kree change because I think Kree was just worse than Soldier. He is a little bit beefy right now. I don't really like the Sim change because I feel like, she's that niche glass cannon character.
Why did they
She's
even
tanky now.
change to Sim?
They gave her 25 HP.
Oh, she has 25
just
HP
like
as
Brig.
well. Oh gosh, she's busted now.
Nobody's playing her. I don't
Oh,
understand
jeez.
why. I think that the revert on the Brig thing is really good, actually. And I do think that the meta was in one of the healthiest places before that. And I actually really like all the Hammond play and all the Tracer play. But after, this patch on live now, if it was Overwatch League, you'd just see like Brig, Bap, Orisa, Sigma, and then like 2 spammy DPS, and then go.
Do you think it's gonna be just double shield if it was Overwatch League?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I think so.
Just because of the
I think
25 HP.
On that note, the 25 HP thing, like changing, I think that's one of the biggest changes introduced to Overwatch in a significant amount of time. Changing the incremental HP values from 50 to 25 is like actually ridiculous because it makes things way easier to balance. Like what a 5-head play. Like it should have been done earlier, but I'm happy it's in there.
Well, they were kind of always like trying not to do it in the sense that they were always trying to buff the HP of certain heroes, but never actually went through it. And now they actually did. And it's like mind blowing. It's crazy. It's like
it's
after
sick.
4 years, it's like whoa. Widow has 175 HP. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. I know. As a main tank player, I hate everything. I hate everything about this meta. It's terrible.
There is DC.
It is terrible. I don't know what to do. You pick something, you go Winston, they go Bull Hog or something. Like you can't even look anywhere. You can't even peek. You can't do you can't do anything. It's crazy. And like I can't play ball. Let's be honest. I'm terrible. I'm just rolling around.
OTP.
Reese OTP, Reese OTP, Winston OTP. Hello. And then I forced Reese, and then the first game was okay, Reese, and then the fifth game you're already like the dread sets in. You like come back to the realization how unfun this is. So you're losing your mind, game after game. What do you think, Jofi, as a brick specialist?
Yeah, I was gonna say, even as a fucking brick player, I hate brick, and I think it's so bad for the game because it's just so oppressive. And I'm not sure if this 25 health nerf is gonna cut it, because it was already becoming kind of a brick meta before brick got buffed. I don't know, it feels... I just hate playing it, I hate playing against it, I hate brick. Delete, please, thank you.
It was a different kind of break meta though, where you were playing the break more to just only counter the Hammond, because you'd have no other stunts, and you'd want to like book at the Zen. And now it's just like Brig is so busted, you just throw it in every team comp again, you know?
Yep.
But before it was like you can only slot it in this one team comp because you counter this character, which kind of makes sense.
Like, I don't even understand how... Like, obviously, I see some good bow players. They play into the current meta with bow, and they roll around. They do stuff. I don't understand how they do stuff. I can't do stuff. I'm rolling around, I get stunned, and I die. I'm like, how do they do it? Why am I so mad at this? Doesn't make sense. Oh, it's crazy. I know they really need to. I'm glad they changed it. Before, I think they wouldn't change it. Like before, like a few years ago, I think they would actually stick to the change. And like
Blizzard has been like way faster acting with the balance changes. It's really good.
Yeah.
How would you change it then, Jofi? Would you reduce Brig health by 25 to 175 if you think Brig was creeping into the meta?
I don't know. I really like. I just dislike the amount of heal she has, like the amount of pocket. How you can't. You know, I'm a Lucio player. I like to go in. I would like to go 1v6. I like to go in the backline. I like to kill the enemy Zen. But if there's a brick in the game, you can't do that.
Do you think so? Back in the day, I personally believe so. Back in the day, when GOATS was meta, you had teams playing much more synergized, in the sense that you always look to combo stuff together. You always look to play with each other, and it was very team heavy. You know, it's like the better team would win. You know, it was rarely a situation where there would be a solo carry. You know, except Reinhardt outrunning somebody. But even then, their team can counter that by having a good break bash to counter the shatter, or like a bubbles or something like that, or boop the Reinhardt, at least looking for shatter. And overall, it was insanely high level. The highest, like when you watch Overwatch League, like Vancouver against Shock and stuff like that, it would be really high level between two really good teams that had really good synergy. But I think ever since GOAT meta, it kind of fell down, and it's more like it becomes more and more deathmatch. That's how I feel. Especially in this meta, I feel like it's really deathmatch. It's really deathmatch and really boring. So the meta, before the double shield meta where you had bow, I think that was really boring because everyone was playing deathmatch. And then now on double shield, it just feels like, I don't know.
You just waiting for the DPS to kill someone, right? That's what you're doing. Just like, well, we break shield kind of, but now we're just waiting for Widow or like someone to headshot somebody and then they die. It's just shitty. I don't think double shield at all is good for the game. I think it ever has been. And off Casores' point a little bit earlier on, any comp or any kind of meta that requires you to basically stand still in a ball and not be death ball.
Yeah.
Like death ball, I think is fine, but like standing stationary on a point of a map, controlling one single pixel, is bad for the game because it's extremely boring to watch and I think play too.
What do you think, Casores and like Jofi, because you both have experience with in the scene? How do you think the game changed from GOATs to now? Is it going downhill, like in terms of team play? Is it getting more deathmatchy? I personally believe like GOATs was the peak of team coordination and synergy.
I mean, yeah, I would agree. I think because that meta was practiced for so long, like all the fine details were hard, like worked on, and you could do that because it's not as mechanically intensive, right? You just 6-stack, you run at people, everybody knows how their individual cooldown rotation work, and they don't have to think about the aim and the movement as much. They're just not playing a kick like Tracer or Genji with like really high skill caps. So now with a little bit more high-skilled meta. I think we saw a lot of Tracer, a lot of Echo in Contenders lately, which we'll probably return to now that Brig is nerfed again. It makes the game, a lot more solo carry heavy, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think it's way more fun to watch. Maybe to play a little less. I think Goats was good for the game, but it lasted so long that I'm glad now, everything is changing. And it did change how the game is played forever fundamentally. Like every single meta, you have to watch out because the Lucio Moira comms are fucking creeping out the back door. I'm scared with this Kree may change, that
they even buffed Moira. They buffed Moira.
Yeah, they're buffing Moira. It's a small buff, but it's a buff nonetheless.
Everything is a buff, They buff it, still a buff, even if it's small. It's a little, like 25 HP. They thought it's small, but it wasn't small at all, It's not the size that matters, how you use it. What about you, Jofi?
Oh.
I was sleeping, guys.
Sorry, I fell asleep a little bit there.
Do you remember the question?
Huh?
Yeah,
go on.
You remember the question?
Repeat, please. Thank
you. When back in the day, when we played Goats and stuff, and I was saying the team coordination, everything was on peak and synergy, and then later on, now it's more deathmatch. And how do you think? Do you think it degraded? Do you think it degraded as a experienced tier 2 player contender champion, Jofi?
I mean, I don't have the tier 1 experience. I can't give you full answer. But yeah, I mean, I really liked Goats because it was really strategic. There was a lot of strategic elements. It's downgraded for sure.
And you got to play Lucio back
like double shield, you're kind of just... There's some spots where you want to stand. You stand there, and then you shoot enemy.
And then you change the spot.
That's it. 3, 2, 1, pulling.
I'm looking for pull, pulling, shielding, pulling. Guys, I'm going to Bongo, looking for pull, pulling.
I mean, that's oversimplified, but
Yeah. Ooh, really dislike double shield. Like me and Danny came to the conclusion that we both quit during double shield meta because it was just really boring, and we came back and we were playing in the same team after a year.
Yeah.
Again, double shield. It's again double shield, and it's like, what? What? Not again. And when we played trials, it wasn't double shield, and then we got in contenders. It's like double shield again. It's like, oh, what? This is what? No.
It's just unlucky.
Wasn't the meta before this double shield meta Hammond though? How are you doing in that one?
We won every trials match. I know what I was doing. Every time I was just running around, and I know what I was doing. Honestly, I was just going on card. I was pushing card, and then I was like looking at the Hammond, I was shooting the Hammond, and then I kept going to card, and it was like, okay, guys, I have mines, so I mine them on high ground. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. I know that, sometimes things happen, sometimes they didn't happen. And I would mine high ground, they would drop from high ground. I would usually die when I mine, because I don't understand anything. But hey, at least my team killed them because they dropped from high ground, and I did my job, and then I rolled in back. And it's like crazy. A god gamer, honestly. Doesn't even know.
Professional ball player.
Professional baller. Right here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing I want to ask Casores. What do you think about your recent signings, especially FD God?
Oh, I think FD Gods are great. I mean, of course, Moff was a big back of the team kind of mental thing, and he's very good. He's a very good caller. He's very flexible. Though I think his Brig is not as good, right? But his Mercy especially is one of the best in the Overwatch League. His Lucio is super, super good. I think FD God's a little bit different, whereas Lucio is super insane, especially mechanically, right? You've seen all his ranked games.
I've seen it. I've seen it in the ranked and in scrims, dude. I've seen it firsthand,
So, but then his Mercy, at least a little bit of work. Same for his Brig. Although I think his Brig is good, but we needed to up it to that shock level. But I think it's just the best pickup we could have gotten after Muff is gone.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm super happy.
Are you sad about your players leaving? Some of them.
I mean, I haven't been with the team for that long, right? So I joined 1 month before the season ended. I haven't lived with them. I haven't gone through a full season with them. So there's not as big of an emotional connection as if you'd ask anybody else on the shop. But of course, I'm excited to work with any player and then seeing them go is sad.
At least you didn't have a strong emotional connection with them yet, so that wasn't as
Yeah,
sad, you know.
we'll
So,
build that up when we meet in person next season.
yeah. Do you feel confident that you're gonna win again? Third time? 3 times?
Oh
Third
yeah,
time's the
pretty
charm.
confident.
Just coach FT God for him to become a machine. Human machine on every character.
Any Lucio meta will be fine, I think. You just put him on Lucio. I don't think you need that much work on a Mercy, to be honest with you. It's be like, you know, middling effective. I think you'd
Hello?
rather-
Oh,
that's not
hello. Do you know how
You
much
see
Mercy can carry?
You
Yeah,
see
I know
the grand
that. But
finals?
like, I would rather have like a sicko Lucio player, especially someone like FD God, than like a sicko Mercy player.
Yeah,
'Cause,
Lucio
like, I think
play looks
Lucio,
more
like,
fancy, yeah, but
it looks hella fancy, dude. You see
it's
that 1v1 with
marketable.
Astro in the All Stars game, dude? He's crazy.
It's
He's
marketable. It's
crazy.
marketable, definitely. You can make
Exactly.
sick Twitter videos and YouTube videos.
Exactly.
afterwards.
You get big boobs, easy likes on Twitter,
Yeah.
dude. Easy retweets.
But if you do like PogChamp Mercy gameplay, then you make a montage out of it. It's like a
he dashing from person to person. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
super jump.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Look at my
crazy.
super jump montage.
Hey,
It's
super
sick.
jump right.
Whoa.
Calm down. There's a mechanic. No,
Moth
but Lucia
Gods of
definitely
Mercy.
has the higher skill cap, but Mercy can carry. You saw how hard Moth carried in the grand final.
Oh, for sure.
I think
For
Mercy
sure.
can carry, especially. Have you seen Jofi's Mercy? It's crazy, wild.
Is it actually? Do you like my Mercy Bogur?
I haven't seen it.
We played against each other yesterday.
Was it that invisible? Was
it?
it that invisible then that he just didn't see it? Damn, bro, that's crazy.
When did you play it? When Anigod was AFK, so you...
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's when I.
Yeah, well.
Unlucky.
I'm sorry, Jofi. Jofi got so excited for a second. He was like, "Oh, really?" It just crashed his dream.
It's fine. I'm used to it.
I feel sad now. No.
Yofi thinks you win the replay player, Boger, and you like watch all his Mercy gameplay. You're like,
No,
this
we're
is
both
the
reviewing
best
it
Mercy
after this
gameplay.
Bogur.
Basically, when people bot review my match, when I play Bo and like, so I scrim somebody, and their team VOD reviews, they basically tell their main tank don't do what Bo is doing on Bo, and like that's how people are improving. It's actually broken strategy. Just don't do what Bo does. It's like crazy.
Complete opposite.
Yeah, just do the opposite. Like you see him go on point and die here, don't go on point and die there. Okay, it's like
There you go.
it's good.
Casores can take that to shock. They'll just
that's-
take your VODs to
Yeah,
Overwatch League.
yeah,
Like,
when
don't
we-
do this on ball.
When we play contenders, you can just watch the matches and you're like, okay, the guy's
Yeah, there you
okay, okay, super. Don't do like this guy's doing. Okay,
don't do what he's doing. Do the opposite
do
of
the
what he's
opposite
doing.
of what he's doing.
Stop dying.
Stop dying.
Subscription to Boger VOD. Watch them all back. Show them to the rest of the Overwatch League. Like, look at this guy. You see this guy?
Yeah, don't be like
Don't be
him.
this guy.
Don't be this guy. Actually, I remember when it was Risa met and we scrimmed Team USA, and Mike Super would play really aggressive on Risa, and my coach was like, okay, be really aggressive as Super. And I remember I was really mad at that point because I didn't agree, but I was like, whatever, fuck it. So I just put my shield behind Super, I shifted into his face and I killed him. And I was like, I feel the power. I have unlocked a new level of being, you know. And ever since then, I started 1v1ing people in scrims with Orisa. I remember once I was scrimming against Decode, and Decode fortified, and I went in, I fortified, and I bongoed so I can kill him through fortify.
Just asserting dominance across the server.
Yeah, the Bulgarian
Okay.
stallion right here. Never ending. Yeah. Speaking of matches, and speaking of like Overwatch League and players and stuff, Jos, what was your favorite match to cast? What was the most intense match?
This is easy question to answer. The NYXL versus London Spitfire at the NYXL home stand in New York. Actually, such an easy answer. The crowd was just crazy. And Hopper was also like just clapping with self-destructs as well, which is really sick. And just like being in a crowd too, and being one of my first matches as well. I think like every little bit kind of tying it together was definitely my most memorable and favorite match to cast this year. Like obviously it hasn't been the same with coronavirus and stuff, but the homestands when we had them, they were unreal levels of hype, and just everybody was just super excited. The players as well were just it was really cool to actually see the whole machine in action, on stage, and having the hometown fans as well, them cheering on their home team, and it was actually incredible. Yeah, I really wish we had more. Unfortunately, I was set to head to Miami next, I think, before everything got shut down.
It got shut down after that match.
After no.
Yeah, after that match, they were sitting there.
Too many people.
They looked at it like, okay, we peaked, guys. Shut it down. There's no point. We
shut
peaked.
it down.
Shut it down.
We can't go any longer.
Somebody
It's
asked
done.
if it's the same match where Hotba got a free K with self-destruct on King's Row. Do you remember?
I remember that. That was my favorite series.
Yeah.
That was my favorite map, dude.
Yeah. Whoa.
God, Hop was so cracked.
Yeah.
I loved it. The crowd was carrying the cast so hard. I didn't have to say anything most of the time. Hopper just got a bomb, and I was like, "Bro, I got a bomb," and then the crowd just
He's like,
goes
let's go!
crazy.
Whoa!
Yeah, just goes crazy, and then I just shut up, and they just do my job for me. It was
That's
sick.
crazy. That's wild. That's what you could enjoy the match without really casting that much. you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the best bit, when the crowd's behind you and behind the players as well. Like it's actually on another level. Very different to, casting in your bedroom, or like we have a room downstairs that we cast in, basically, that was a spare bedroom at one point. And now it's just like an Overwatch League setup that me, Bren, and Jake use. Like, yeah,
Isn't
it's
it
not
funny?
the same, man.
Isn't it funny how like in tier 2 people like in their bedrooms like barely scraping by, like it's like everything's really scuffed, green screens, like barely have money for anything, and like contenders players don't really get salaries anymore. Like it's like 2 teams that give a salary for free over contenders and ANU combined and stuff like that. And then you go to Overwatch League, it's like you're in a castle, it's like, oh, you have the whole setup for casting. You have these famous people next to you. You're like, oh my god, and that's Rusco. Oh my god, that's Brencast, and that's, oh my god, that's Funny Astro. Oh my god, and it's completely different from sitting in your room all day. Like, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay,
I
guys,
definitely
back
pop off
to
when I see
scripts.
Astro. I get excited. When I see Bren, not so much, actually.
We're not excited for Brent.
No. I'll live with him for too long at this point.
No.
Get him out of my house. I
You
don't
live
want
with
him anymore.
Bren?
Look, Bren and Jake, yeah.
Oh, that must be an experience for sure.
It's living with Bren's an experience.
Not
Jake,
with
not
Jake.
so much. Jake's cool. Like,
Yeah,
Jake
that's
does
cool.
his own things, whatever. Bren, on the other hand, he's a cretin, like an actual gremlin. That's the only words I could describe him. Cretin and like kind of a gremlin. Like, I'm pretty sure he's downstairs right now watching Super stream some DS game. He's just passed out on the sofa.
That's kinda
You
cute.
can't control him, bro.
I mean, you don't need to.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
God.
Unstoppable force.
Yeah.
He just keeps going.
Casores hasn't had that experience yet. He's still living in his bedroom, He doesn't have the castle
Yeah,
yet.
we're back.
He just
That-
goes to America in the San Francisco house and just goes in and is like,
Everything's plated with gold.
Yeah.
And leftover parts of the trophy.
and there's like trophies everywhere, gold everywhere. They have a massive life-sized like statue of Sinatra, and they have like a super plastered on the wall,
Do you not see the rain house?
No.
You
I know that
Rain House?
Panther yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it, yeah. Like, I've seen that. That was crazy.
I don't think we can triumph that standard of living here.
Yeah, that was crazy, actually. I remember, like, the friend streamed it. It was like, I was like, what? What is this? Like, what is that? Is this a gaming house? It's not a gaming house. That's a mansion. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was sick. The house was actually one of the sickest team houses, I think.
Jofi,
Yeah.
are you excited, Jofi, to make it up to the castles up there on Hollywood, on the Overwatch League?
I mean,
Or are you giving up on that dream by now?
I think
Aw.
there's no castles for me, but at least for like this year,
No castles this
I'm
year.
gonna stay in my cave.
In your cave? Oh no.
Gamer cave.
Just a gamer cave. Is it sad? Do you feel depressed sitting in your gamer cave, Jofi?
No, it's fine. I can hunt my own food.
Uh-huh.
I get plenty
You
of
can-
outdoors action.
What is
Save
your
some money.
What is your outdoor section?
I go to a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 5 meters away.
Yo, that's pretty good.
That's pretty sick.
That's pretty sick. You know what's the biggest plus of being in a Overwatch League team? Somebody else goes there and buys groceries for you.
That's true.
That
That's
Yep.
true.
you can be a real goblin gremlin just sitting
You
here.
have so much time. You can actually grind so much more when you
Yeah,
don't worry
yeah.
about food and anything.
True. Somebody else does the things. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about the tier 2 scene, Jofi?
Me,
Yeah, you.
bogur,
Mhm.
like I actually don't care.
You don't care?
I don't give a fuck actually. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because before I was with Hurricane, it was like, yeah, whatever, I still get paid. Like, don't give a shit if we don't get like prize money because I can still, I still get some money, you know. And now I'm just doing this thing with New Kings. We don't scream, and when we scream, we just only God goes AFK and we play 5 versus 6. So, like, we're just in it to have fun, you know.
Yeah.
But I actually like the old format better, the old contenders format.
Same. I don't
because-
understand this one. It's weird.
Yeah, there's a new winner like each month, and I don't like that. You know, like it undermines my victory when it was like 5 months long the season.
Yeah. I
You know,
agree.
it makes it matter less because there's so many winners now.
Yeah, I feel like it matters way less in contenders if
Yeah.
you win or not. Like, okay, you won, that's cool. Let's go. After 2 weeks, there's a new one, and it's like, okay, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
whatever.
2 weeks and you're in trials, unlucky meta.
But I think another plus is that at least you don't have these long 4 months breaks between
Yeah, that's true.
seasons. So now you
Yeah, it's
actually
really
get
annoying.
to play consistently every month. So that's good. What else is different about it? I think it's also tournament format now. So it's like double elimination, tourney, in contenders instead of it being
Yeah,
across an entire month. You play like a match every
Yeah.
week. I know. I like them. I know if what I prefer because I haven't played the double elimination contenders thing yet. But I liked.
Yeah.
But I like the other one more because you got to play against every team, you know. So if you end up on the bottom, you probably deserve being on the bottom for sure. You know, you can't have like unlucky 2 first games or something like. But before you would play against every single team, and if you lost every single match, then you're probably the worst team in contenders that season. Yeah.
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 Do you overall prefer the tournament structure then? No, sorry, not the tournament structure. The structure we had in 2018 and 2019. Because I, as a caster as well, I much preferred the 2018 format where it's like 3 seasons, and then you just play and you crown a winner like every single season 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But a tournament format on paper, I think sounds really cool because it's like, oh, there's new winners like all the time, and double elim's really sick, and everybody loves tournament format. But in practice, it seems kind of meh. Is it something that you'd want to go back to, the 2018, 2019?
I personally don't want to go back to it only for one reason. It's because I don't have the time for it. You know, I just don't have the time. I'm just doing this for fun, like Jofi. You know, me and Jofi, I'm doing it fun. Like them, what they're doing as well. Like they're barely scamming. We're barely scamming. Most of our scrims go like we just meme around. You know, we just like we just do something. We just like have fun. I remember I was sitting there. I was like, okay, guys, we can sit here and sweat our asses off and practice double shield and plan the strategies and draw the you know, the weaknesses of each team and make these massive plans, and like you do
And
this
then you
and do
lose
that.
to Hurricane.
And then you lose and you learn and then you earn $500 and you just hate everything. Or you can have fun and lose or win and still earn $500. So, you know, it's just have fun. It's just have fun, you know.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dude.
I also do believe that having fun actually makes things a lot better, in the sense that if you don't have fun, you have actually a less chance of winning than when you have fun. Like if you try really hard. If you try hard and you just really focus on the game, and instead of just having fun, the fact that you're not enjoying yourself will actually limit your gameplay, and you will actually play much worse. I personally believe so. That's at least for me. I don't feel like I'm performing when I don't have fun. When I'm bored, when my brain isn't engaged, when I don't have the connections being made, when the neutron, like everything's being fired up, like it's not working. It's just like it's not working, you know. And it's just and you don't do the same amount of plays, you don't do the same amount of stuff. You feel kind of like dead inside, you know. It's just like it's not fun.
Yeah,
It's just
that's me
sitting there-
playing Brick.
Yeah, that's me playing Orisa. It's just like, okay, guys, I'm pulling. Looking for bongoing. Pull in 4. Pulling. 45. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. Okay. Pulling. 45. It's like, okay.
I think to bridge that point as well, just atmosphere in general is so important in teams. Like I've been on teams where people hate each other. I've been on teams where
Yeah, I
you know
agree.
people are playing ranked, like duoing together all day and night, and always talking to each other, and just like night and day. Like you can have the best 6 players in the game, but if they don't like each other, they don't trust each other. You're gonna play like shit.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
if everybody on the team trusts each other and the atmosphere is good, it just clicks and you feel so much better.
Yeah, for sure, actually. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
if you put like 6 individual players that are really good but don't synergize well, you're just gonna lose again. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't. Like, a lot of people think it's that simple. Like, a lot of people on Reddit, like a lot of people everywhere, they're like, okay, why don't you just take these 6 really good players and put them together, and they're gonna win Overwatch League, guys, dude. They're gonna win it all. It's crazy. It was so simple. Put me as head coach of San Francisco Shock. I'm so smart. But they don't understand it. Like, it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Like, if you put these people together and you don't like each other, they're just gonna be at each other's throats. They won't be motivated to play. Like, it's much more motivating to win and play when you're playing with your friends, when you're playing, like, having fun, you know? It's, like, more trust with each other. And when there's, like, when you don't like each other, you don't trust each other, you know? You start, like, playing more solo. You start making these stupid plays. You don't care. You're not motivated, you know? You're not giving everything. Like, it's just day and night. It's just completely day and night. Yeah. Do you think like the COVID situation has affected teams?
I think well, let me give you a take first. I think a head coach job isn't to know a lot about the game. I think 90% of being a head coach is creating a good atmosphere and a good work environment. And to take from that, I think there is too many coaches that prioritize, you know, learning a lot about the game and not creating a good work environment and infrastructure and structure in the team. And that's between coach and GM. And I think, especially in the Overwatch League, you can really see what team, you know, has a good working structure and what teams don't.
Yeah, I agree.
So it affects it 100%.
It affects the 100%.
You just need to be a leader, right? At the end of the day, in the head coach role. Be a leader, be a little bit charismatic, and just being able to bring the team together rather than like you said, hitting the books. Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, the
I'd agree.
assistant coaches
I
hit the
agree as well.
books instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe. And the thing about like tier 2, most of the time, like 90% of the time, you don't get good coaching structure, you know? Like, I don't, no offense to anyone, but from personal experience over the years.
Don't blame your coach as bogur.
My coach is, yikes. I'm joking. But in general, like, all the teams I've been to, a lot of teams like subbing. I've been a lot of teams like tier 2 teams. I've been subbing for some academy teams, like everywhere. A lot of coaches, like, how do I say it? Once they make it in like an academy team or contenders, or they start making a salary or something, they kind of stop caring. I don't know. That's and from talking to people as well, like, they stop caring, and it's really weird for me because they want to make it to Overwatch League, but once they make it somewhere, they stop caring because now, you know, why should I try harder? And whenever there's an issue, I feel like some of these coaches would prefer to kick their players with the excuse that this player is the issue, rather than just like focusing on how to make the things work better. And I think a lot of people in tier 2 that haven't made it yet, I think they like coaches specifically, I think their coaching style is really weird, in the sense that people don't understand what coaching is. So, for example, a lot of the times what happens is you go in, you scrim, and then you're gonna have a 2-hour VOD review or something, and that's really boring. Nobody wants to watch 2-hour VOD review. It's not, you don't learn anything. It's a waste of time, you know. I personally believe that 2-hour VOD reviews and like contenders in like tier 3 is boring because it's a waste of time because the players are bored. So if the players are bored, they won't learn anything. So why are you doing this, you know? They don't want to listen to this. Why don't you, like, they don't put in the time to like really crunch the information, really make it like you're a teacher as a coach. And teachers don't just like good teachers don't just sit there for 2 hours talking nonsense, you know. They crunch the information, they make it really easily digestible, and then they shoot it to you, and if you don't understand, they explain it again, you know. But they try to do it in a way that you understand, not just in a like a broad way. Like you watch the VOD review and it becomes something like, okay guys, you died here, you shouldn't die here, you know, stuff like that. It's like it's like in Goldsmith, okay, you're playing Ryan here, you should block Shatter there. I was like, I know, but it's like you can't coach me for that, you know. What do that's like, can you explain to me how I should have played before that so I could have blocked this Shatter, you know? Maybe my shield was breaking, that's why I didn't. Like you tell them like, okay, my shield broke, and it's like, okay dude, well don't let it break next time. And it's like, oh, why didn't you explain to me how, like, why don't you go through the steps? And people just did a minimum job. And I feel like a really important thing is that coaches are extremely important. I hate repeating words, but sometimes I can't think of anything else because they're, again, like teachers, and teachers can make or break the career of somebody, you know. A good teacher can inspire you to be somebody specific and can teach you how to, like, it can teach you to love a certain subject, or he can change your life. But a bad teacher can, like, even sometimes ruin your life. And I think coaches go for the same. If you like have bad luck with 2 teams or 3 teams in a row, like with bad coaches, like there's so much talent that just dies away, like just rots, because coaches, like they don't try their best, or they can't like bring them up. And I think it's really bad, you know. I'm not saying, like, obviously there are really good coaches as well, and that it's not only about coach, players also do the same stuff, but I feel like a lot of talent in tier 2 just stays in tier 2 and like on the bottom for so long. Like FD God, for example. FD God was for so long in tier 2 and he was on only one team, and nobody in tier 2 wanted to pick him up. And I never understood why. Like nobody ever won, and now he's in shock, you know. And the same for so much EU talent. Like for so long Oni God was in tier 2, and like for so long Kevster, all these people were insane, but for some reason they, like, it's like, you know, it's crazy. I don't understand it, you know. I mean, I understand it, but I feel like there's more talent in tier 2. Just waits for somebody, like a good coach, for somebody to really make them, like, to refine them so they can finally shine and like a diamond, so they can go up the stairs to Overwatch League mansions and castles and posters and like all of the cool stuff that they do. Like they don't need to go to the grocery store, you know.
That's the main goal, huh?
Yeah.
Just making sure you don't have to go to the grocery store, so I can just keep on playing. I mean, to be fair, that is a good goal to have. I want to tack on real quick what you were talking about there, about how like you're teaching ideas versus teaching people how to think.
Yeah.
Like your shield shouldn't have cracked there. What? Like, stop, your shield cracked. You didn't block Shatter. You suck. Like, it's like, next time block Shatter.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's more teaching people how to think.
Mm-hmm.
More than like teaching people principles. Obviously, you need to teach people like principles, like you don't block Shatter, you team die. Like, obviously, that's dumb.
Really
but, you should probably know that at this point.
But I believe, if you're in tier 2, you should know that by now.
Exactly. But like teaching people how to think, I think, is very important as well. And like having people having players coming to their own conclusions and teaching them how to come to those conclusions.
Yeah.
Is a pretty worthwhile thing to do too, and just making sure they can understand that, because obviously you're not going to be with them in the game holding their hand as well.
Exactly.
So
that's also
just making sure they know how to think and like how to come to those decisions and those and cross those hurdles within the game.
Yeah. Do you agree,
think,
Casores? Yeah. You're the coach here.
No, I think you said some really good keywords there. Earlier, Boger, you said coaching needs to be really digestible. You know, like a 2-hour VOD review is boring as fuck.
Yeah,
so what's better as a coach is doing like a 2-hour prep, and then have the VOD review be 20 to 30 minutes.
Yes.
And showing like goals-oriented coaching. That is, I think, what it's all about, right? If you can show a player 5 examples of one thing going wrong and explain, you know, why it went wrong and what we can do in the future to prevent that from going wrong, they're gonna learn something. But if you show a player an hour-long VOD and you just point out everything that's wrong and you point out something different every time, that's not coaching. That's analysis.
Yeah, it is analysis
do with players. they're not gonna learn
you should do
anything.
like if you're gonna do analysis, like you're analyst coach, and you're gonna write a spreadsheet about it, and you're gonna write all the information down, and it's like, okay, that's cool. Players probably won't read the information because players are players, but you're gonna have the information. And telling that information to players who don't care, who just want to play games and click on stuff, it's just like, it's pointless. It's just pointless. People don't want to listen, It's like, and then coaches get mad. Coaches get mad. Why aren't you listening to me? Why aren't you paying attention to my VOD review or anything? It's like, because you're boring, okay? You're just boring. You're just boring. I'm sorry. That's the truth. That's the truth. You're just boring. It's like, as simple as that. Like, you can't make it any more simpler. And people get mad, and then they start blaming the players, and they're like, oh, I put in so much time. I like do a 2-hour VOD reviews every day. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the
And
problem.
to be fair as well, if they want to do those 2-hour VOD reviews, they'll probably do it on their own.
Yeah.
They won't do, if they want to do them, they probably won't want to do them with someone else. They'll just sit there. It's like casting VOD reviews too. It's like, if I'm going to VOD review myself, which I do quite regularly, I'll just sit there and just go through myself. Like, I can definitely have someone go over a 2-hour VOD review with me, but like, it's infinitely better if I just go over one round or one map. Bite-sized information and bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
Super important. And like,
That's way more
just
important.
reviewing anything, not even like Overwatch.
Yeah, I agree. Jofi is a very seasoned veteran in the tier 2 scene, gaming warlord. Do you agree that there's unrefined tier 2 talent that needs some pushes by a good coach? Do you think coaches in tier 2 are lacking?
Is Jofi sleeping? Yes.
Jofi is sleeping. Jofi has slept 3 hours and like...
I've had some really bad coaches and some really good coaches, but I think the good coaches are rare, and I had them because I was in fucking Hurricane, right? So we can buy the best coach, whatever, who cares? And I don't know. I feel like the coaches in tier 2, like it's so rare that someone is actually good. Like, we had Hunter, who wasn't even a coach; he was just a player, and we were like, "Hey, you wanna coach for us?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay, let's go." And he was like the best option we trialed. I think, I'm not sure.
Do you think, like, I personally think that in tier 2, not in tier 1, I think tier 1 is a bit different. In tier 2, I feel like the players are usually the better coaches because they have the experience and they know exactly what the players want to hear, or like how to make the information easily digestible. Do you think so?
Yeah, maybe. Like, it just depends. But I see your point though.
Well, I feel like for example, for
It depends
Hunter,
on the player as well.
yeah, it depends on the player, but I feel like a lot of like the good coaches that were in tier 2 and like or are currently, like they were players at some point, they played the game at some point, like maybe they didn't succeed, but they played the game,
Sure. Yeah.
It's not just some random person who's plat. I don't know if you're plat, Casores, okay? I'm just okay. I don't know what's your star Casores?
Right now I'm like 3.8.
Oh,
My peak's 4.5.
Yeah.
oh, you see,
There
exactly.
it is.
It
He's
all
clear.
makes sense. It all makes
Yeah.
sense now.
I don't know, but I think here's a statement that tags into your point. I think it's better to have no coach at all than having a bad coach, because I think a bad coach can
I
destroy
agree.
your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like a bad coach, like sometimes players can do better without a coach because especially if they like each other and they play together and they like they talk everything through. And if you have a bad coach who's forcing his bad opinions on you and like kind of ruining everything, like you already have something set up and he's just sitting there, he's like wasting your time even, like even if he's not doing anything necessarily bad for your team, he might just waste your time, you just sit there, he's like, okay guys, we're gonna do 2 hours of vault review. It's like, I can just play ranked instead. That's gonna be more useful than that 2-hour vault review, and stuff like that. Yeah, I think coaches make or break teams and players as well.
I mean, I've also seen like some coaches be like, like when we ask for feedback, they're like, okay, can you check out what Bumper does in the Oros League? Okay, check that out and just do that, okay?
Just do that.
Yeah, also
Yeah.
that's a thing. People are just like, okay,
I've seen that before. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, they
The
just
exact same
they
sentence.
go like watch a Overwatch League match, and they're like, okay, do you see this player right there who's playing your role? You should do what he's doing. That's why he's in Overwatch League. And it's like, yeah, but I don't understand why he's doing it though. Like, what? Explain. What is that? It's like giving someone homework. Okay, I hate homework, but it's like you sit there and your teacher sits does basically nothing, and then is like, okay guys, you have like 10 pages of homework for tomorrow. And it's like, wait, but on what, how, where, what? I don't understand the subject. I don't get it. What do I do? And it's like, well, figure it out, not my issue. I was like, okay, that's cool, nice coaching, appreciate it. See you next day. See you tomorrow when we lose our contenders match. Boggers moment right there. Yeah, and they're like, it's wild, it's definitely wild. What? Okay, so talking about teams and coaches and stuff. Like, what do you like the most about the team environment? You know, what do you like the most? Like, do you enjoy the shit talking that happens after matches? Do you enjoy like sitting there talking and playing games with your team? Do you like the connection that you make with your teammates? Like, everyone has like different experience. We have a coach, we have a player, we have a caster. You know, obviously, I don't know, Jules. I know. You know, yeah, I know how experienced you are with the team environment, but you can talk about the casting environment. You know, casting, that's also an environment. It's like a team. You're like a team.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
I mean, I could talk about it with my with a casting partner.
Yeah, exactly. That's also a good one.
Yeah, like I think it's pretty important to be on like the same level of them in terms of just humor or just being friendly with each other, just being friends and this was actually a point before where a team is infinitely better if you're just all friends and you have a good environment to work in, because if you're caster, you're not like friends with them, you're not maybe you don't have to be on the same humor all the time, but most of the time that does help because it helps with the small bits in between the broadcast, in between the matches. That definitely helps. And just being able to sit down and talk to someone in like a bar setting has always been my kind of thought behind it. If I can just sit down and talk to my co-caster like we're at a bar about the game, that is going to make 10 times a better broadcast if I couldn't do that. Like, if you can't literally just sit down with your friend and talk about the game, like off camera, then you're doing something wrong. Like 100%. Like, I could sit down with Hex, we could talk about literally anything, like the game itself, or like just something else that's random.
You should make series about it. Like, you just talk about the random stuff and you upload it on YouTube.
Exactly. You know, it like super helps. Like, and just spending time with them, going for food with them. It's like one of the things I did when I actually got to LA, because I hadn't cast with Hex before. I just basically just spent as much time as I possibly could with him. When we were doing the homestands and stuff, we're all spending time together anyway. Like me, Mitch, Matt, and Hex were just always together when we were in New York, and just like getting food together, just like hanging out basically.
That's
and just
really
fostering
good.
that. It's not a team environment, but like just like a casting environment. Just, and that's how I think me and Hex have done so well this year, is because we're just able to get along as friends. Like, super easy. I'm pretty easy to get along with. Hex is like super easy to get along with. One of the easiest casters I've worked with for sure.
I think like being friends in any kind of environment, like work environment, team environment, like stream, like anything, like it's always good. Like people always take things too seriously sometimes, not always, but sometimes they take them too seriously, and they think, okay, if I try really hard, and I like go according to the book, I'm gonna succeed.
That's the worst thing.
That's the worst you can do. Not only casting, like for anything, like even if you're playing, like if you go everything by the book, if you don't have fun, you're like a little robot. You're not gonna achieve anything, you know. Everyone's like streaming as well. Okay, guys, I'm gonna always the same setup, always the same things happening. Like fucking writing a script before you stream. Like it's just like have some fun, you know. It's just like relax, breathe, you know, whatever. What about you, Casores, as a coach?
I mean, I think as a coach, 2 players, it is. You know, it's important to have a really good connection. I wouldn't necessarily say you should go to the pub with them all the time, like John, go-casters, but
just go with your players to the pub. Most of them under 18. Oh gosh.
No, they're all right.
No, I mean before. I'm not talking about.
Oh, 21 for the US.
Yeah, US 21. But I was talking about like back in the day, not about right now in Shock. But yeah.
I think what's really important, especially on the Shock, is that, you know, even though it's a mixed team, everybody's always really free to talk to each other, and a really good environment is reinforced, right? One of the things, for example, is that whenever a Korean player can't figure the English word, they have to like say it in Korean first, and then they have to like figure out how to say it in English in the team chat later.
It's like a game.
Everybody learns it very quickly, but just yeah, what's so important and what Shaka is different than any other team is just that all the players, they trust each other and they want to play with each other, and there's nobody going like behind each other's back like, oh, I'd rather play with that player, I'd rather play with that player, And that is one thing that Krusty enforces really well, because he just assaults problems in the moment instead of doing it like a week later. Like sometimes a player will act out and then it won't be punished and nobody sees it get punished, so then everybody can do whatever the fuck they want,
Yeah.
instead of
It's
things being addressed in the moment. A player's on their phone during VOD review, take away their phone. A player is not talking to another player, or they have argument, make them sit down with each other, that kind of stuff. It's very basic classroom stuff, but it's stuff that teams just don't do.
Do you think you have such a good environment because of, for example, Krusty? Because of your like head coach is like because of your like because of the team building it that way. They like it's not just because the players from the beginning liked each other or something, but just because like one specific person built it, to be that way.
I think it's a mix of both, but I think a massive thing is just the fact that Krusty is really smart. He knows how to work with players really well. He has a lot of empathy, which is a really important skill, I think, in a coach. And he's also bilingual, so he can like talk to the Korean players in Korean, talk to the
Oh, that's crazy, actually.
and translate for each other. So
yeah, gamer. What the fuck? Krusty is like on another level. No wonder you won twice in Overwatch League. Yeah.
I think actually on a mixed team, the head coach being able to speak both English and Korean is what sets a lot of these teams apart, which is pretty crazy. Like you think Fusion as well, they had KDG who speaks both perfect English and Korean, and that really helps when you're running a mixed team.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually a big advantage. I actually didn't know he spoke both Korean and English. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but I never thought about it.
I mean, he's a head coach for a mixed team, so
that doesn't mean anything, Jofi. I'll be honest.
that
doesn't mean
They're
anything.
translator, but
yeah. What about you, Jofi? As a gamer, as a player, as a seasoned veteran, as a contender champion?
Third time, yeah.
Third time. Wait, what do you mean third time? Have you won contenders 3 times?
No, you're saying
third time
contenders
means...
tier 2 veteran champion.
Yeah.
What was the question? Go on, bogur.
Do you think how do you feel?
Trolls and Casores talk so long that I actually forget the question.
Like, I swear, players, I like have the shortest attention spans always. It's like such a short attention span. It's like, okay, guys,
I mean, yeah.
If you're not playing the game, I'm getting bored. I'm falling asleep. Okay.
I find my mind so often on the maze. So
it's on the maze. What does that mean?
Brigitte. Maze to the face.
The maze. I thought you said maze. I was like, damn, that went deep. What kind of maze are you talking about?
Yeah, okay. So, question?
Well,
yeah,
like,
go.
Okay, so the team environment. Like, when you're a player, what do you think about the team environment? What do you think? What's your favorite part about the team environment? What do you think about it as a whole? You've been... I don't know how many teams you've been at, but you've been in British Creek, and you've been on this team. You've been on something else before. Like, I don't have your fucking resume of teams before that, So, what do you think? Like, what's your favorite about it?
I just I like it when like everybody's friends, and this was case in New Kings. Even though I didn't really notice people, but I got asked, and they're all like, I became friends with them super fast because they're all proper lads. On Hurricane, everybody's friends. We spent time like outside, just scrims. We were chilling in Discord. We played some random games together, and we did all this stuff, and it bonded us together. We were like more than coworkers, we were actually friends. And when you win with your friends, it feels fucking amazing.
How would you describe that feeling of winning with your friends?
PogChamp.
PogChamp, Pogger's moment. It's Pogger's moment, guys. I just imagine everyone's like, oh, let's go. And then Jovi's like, PogChamp, guys. Boggers. Yeah. But like, do you miss that kind of environment? Do you feel like you have that environment right now in new
I do.
kids?
I actually feel, yeah,
Yeah. So, you feel like things go like
it's pretty similar.
do you feel like as a player, if your team doesn't have this kind of environment, you just can't succeed as a team?
I mean, I would say it's a lot easier when people are like friends together and like each other and
I
do the
think
best. Friendship is power.
friendship is power. Yeah, because then you're like more excited to learn and play
Yeah.
the game and grind and stuff, and then you like duo queue together, like 6-stack back in the day, 6-stack golds. It was like good times, good
Those were
times.
the days.
Those were definitely the days. How would you, so when you won Contenders Europe, like how was it? You know, did you celebrate? Did you go out, you know, drinking? Did you like, I don't know, did your team like be? I know what happened. You know, what was it?
I was actually kind of burned out at that point. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
it was like I went like so hard and some shit happened in real life and the season was so long. So after we won it, and it was like we won everything prior to that, like we won every match.
Yeah.
And after we won it, it was like I was happy, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, this was kind of expected.
Mm-hmm. You weren't that excited. You weren't like, wow, we won. You were like, okay, yeah, PogChamp, we won.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course it felt good, but I think it's when you're the underdog and then you win and you upset a match. I think that's that feels way better.
Yes, like when you go to. That's why he like double elimination. I don't like. I hate single elimination, but I like double elimination so much
Yeah.
because it creates this story. You know, I'm pretty sure San Francisco Shock won last year from the other bracket, like the
Yeah.
losers. Yeah, and
Actually got beat by the team I was on, Atlanta Reign.
yeah, and it's like I hate when there's no double elimination. I think it like ruins everything so much. Like you can get unlucky the first match or something can happen. Like it can happen. You can be unlucky, you know, first match. Like things can happen really badly for first match, and just
It's so unlucky.
it is sometimes very unlucky. Your player can get like I don't know, get like I don't know, get sick, or like get a headache, like the enemy team you're playing against, like are just like I know, anything can happen. And when you have this double elimination, kind of inspires people to be like they want to climb back. They want to be like an anime character. They get through the through the development. You know, they lose to the villain, and then they start grinding to the lower bracket. And they start going up like with the anime music in the background. And they finally, when they reach the end and they face off the villain again, they've learned so much more and they're ready to win. You know, and stuff like that. It's really great. That's why I think when they released this new Contenders thing, at first there was no double elimination. I think it was a single elimination in the beginning. I'm not sure. And I was like, wow, that's really bad. That's terrible, actually.
It was even worse. They had double elimination, but you couldn't win from the lower bracket. You could only get second.
Oh yeah, I remember some of
That was
that.
bad.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
That was bad.
Oh, okay. What do you think? What do you think about like the current state of like tier 2 and tier 1, and what do you think should change about tier 2 and tier 1 in general? Let's start with you, Casores, because like you're the
I
big
think
boy
the current
coach.
state of tier 1 is really good. I think
Okay.
you know, the Overwatch League contracts for players especially, they're pretty good. I like the like requirements they got. A little bit less safe this year because there's like the 30-day contracts. There's some new contract stuff. So there's a little bit less job safety than before, where you just be signed to a 1 year or 1+1 or however long your contract is. Now you can get like dropped a little bit faster, but that's just because the league is like a little bit less stable right now.
Because of the COVID?
But because of COVID, yeah. But I'd say overall, you know, tier 1, good salary, everybody's doing good. Tier 2, though, you know, it was great.
Tier
But
2.
it's been in a downward spiral, I feel, for a long time. I hope they can add a lot of incentives next year to actually have academy teams. You know, if it was me, I'd say make academy teams mandatory because I think they're great.
Yes.
But from like an investor or money perspective, I understand that, you know, Contenders doesn't get that much viewership. Why would you want a Contenders team? And at the end of the day, money talks. The investors decide. And if they say no to mandatory academy team, then it's going to be no. You can't really enforce that. But that's what I would do. Make mandatory academy teams. I think that would help insanely much.
I think like the fact that so many academy teams are dropped from Contenders is so bad. Like it's insanely bad. Like talent development is like plummeting. People are not getting the coaching they need, don't get the resources they need. People can't survive off of playing tier 2 because people are, for like a lot of the casual community, like they don't think about it, but in tier 2, for the people that actually want to win, like get to the top and like make it to the first place in content and stuff, you actually need to put a lot of hours in, you know, you need to grind a lot. And like if you grind a lot, you don't have time to make money, you don't have time to work, you know, you don't have time. So you either need to be living with your parents or stuff, or like if you're a younger player, you already live and get supported by your parents. But if you're an older player, there's no way you can support yourself just by grinding tier 2, you know. It's like, especially depending on the country. And so you grind and you grind and you grind, but you're struggling a lot while you're grinding, you know. You struggle a lot money wise, and it's kind of demotivating to actually grind when you know you can't actually pay your bills from it, you know. Just hoping that you make it to Overwatch League, just then to succeed. But if you grind and you struggle a lot and you get into like maybe some people even get into debt trying to make it, and then you don't make it to Overwatch League, and it's like everything's terrible, like you hate everything. It's like insane. I think tier 2 should definitely incentivize like in some way, shape. I like the fact that they enable drops in tier 2, so people started watching more Contenders. I think they need to do something to make people want to invest in Contenders, so people are more so people can in tier 2 people can actually live, like do something. Back in the day, there were so many academy teams and people made so much more money, like there were more salaries. As I said before, there was like 3 teams combined in an ANU that pay salary or something like that, you know. It's crazy.
It'll be back. There he is. There he is. He's fine.
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
Hello, welcome back.
Where did you lose me?
You're talking about the tier 2 academy teams and just how there should be an incentive.
I was talking about like how also like teams are there's nobody who pays a salary in tier 2 anymore, basically. And back in the day, the salaries are actually pretty decent. Like way back in the day, like we had like there was like NV Academy, Atlanta Academy, stuff like that. They actually had decent salaries. NRG, there's a lot of decent academy teams that had decent salaries, and people would play in them. It felt good, you know, to play them, and the level of play was much higher. I think level of play right now in tier 2 is much lower than before as well.
I think the difference between the top team and the lower teams is like it's not even tier 2 anymore at the bottom. It's like tier 3 at that point.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many like the 8th to 6th spots in both EU and NA Contenders. I think 2 seasons ago wouldn't even been in Contenders trials, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
I agree. I think so too. What do you think, Joel's cast, about like tier 2 and tier 1?
I pretty much agree with what Casores says about tier 1. I think tier 2, there's a problem where viewership, because it's not great, and obviously this year has definitely affected it more. I think it's affected a lot of things, but it's affected tier 2 a little bit more than others, it seems. But the mandatory academy teams, I don't think that'll work for reasons you stated, although I think it would be a very good idea. Honestly, no idea how you can fix that. I'm going to be real. That's definitely not where my expertise lie, especially with like Casores obviously has a lot more experiences than me. Like I'm on the broadcast side of things, and yeah, we're on the same kind of path, right? Like I want to make tier 1, I want to make Overwatch League, and I did after a couple of years, but it's very different for a player because you're not getting the permanent like tryouts, as it were, right? Yeah. I'm like permanently casting for an entire year.
Yeah, because
for a player, that might not happen, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
You might be there for 1 season. Hey, we're not gonna keep you on. You're gonna go back to trials. You're gonna do something else. Like, We're going to get this other support player, this other DPS player, whatever. It's definitely a lot more difficult for players. And the incentive is definitely there if you have teams like Envious, Atlanta Academy. I'm thinking back to 2019 when we had Gauntlet.
Yeah, we still do.
There is. You still have Gauntlet? Yeah.
Right now.
That is very true.
I'm in Gauntlet, actually.
There you go. I think it was sick when you had them go to Korea, and it was sick casting in Korea, and it was really cool to see Envious and HSL and play against the Korean teams, but
it was not cool.
That's not cool.
Very cool to see HSL.
It wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool seeing HSL. They did get bodied, but my point is that because there's a lot more incentive for players to, like you said before, the level of players is a lot higher. But the only way you can kind of fix all this mess, it does feel like the viewership does need to go up a little bit, but it's difficult. It's a very difficult problem to solve. But I think maybe looking at other tier 2 scenes in other games is a good indication of like how well the tier 2 scene in Overwatch League is doing as well. Like Academy for League of Legends does pretty well. Definitely does better than tier 2 in Contenders. But there are a lot more like these Academy teams in, and I think if we had those Academy teams, it would do better. But the problem is viewership, and they don't like the investors don't want to have those like low viewership.
It's all about money.
It's very difficult to like, to fix this stuff.
But listen, so if you make Academy teams, okay,
sure.
So here's the perspective of investors. Like, okay, for us to make Academy teams, we need to spend money on these Academy teams, and that's extra costs for no return because viewership is low. But I feel like if you make these Academy teams and you make like connect them to some way, shape, or form to like main teams, like something like, I don't know, and you make some hype about them, and like you put them in Contenders, now the level of play skyrockets, and then their favorite teams and brands are connected to Contenders now, so they have somebody to cheer for, you know. So when Overwatch League is over and Contenders going right now, imagine. So now you have like Paris Academy, London's bit for like British Hurricane and stuff, and they're playing. And the fans that watch Paris and London are gonna go watch Contenders now if they actually.
You would hope that.
Yeah, you would hope that. But if they promote that, you know, I know it's not 100% sure. I know people don't even know about Contenders, but that's not. I'm pretty sure that's like the fault of the teams and Blizzard in general for not promoting it correctly. Nobody even knows about Contenders. Like the general public doesn't know even Contenders that they exist. You know. That's
okay. That's the issue right there. Is that the percentage of people that are casual viewers versus like I would say like hardcore, like more hardcore viewership. The casual viewer base is just enormous.
Yeah.
Comparatively to the like hardcore viewership, those hardcore viewers will follow we'll do the Atlanta Rain one, Atlanta Rain, and then Atlanta Academy. They will probably go and watch Atlanta Academy. Maybe not all the time, because to be fair, it's a lot of Overwatch you need to watch if you want to watch Overwatch League plus tier 2, if you want to follow your team in tier 2. But that casual player base, and I think they've done a very good job, and like you said before, enabling drops. I think that's incredible. Having the contender skins and tokens or whatever the hell, just something that incentivizes people to go do it, especially the casual audience who love that kind of stuff. But it's getting that casual audience to convert, and sometimes that is pretty impossible because again, the amount of Overwatch people are watching as well. And making small steps like adding the drops, I think is pretty important. Maybe adding and returning it to a format where it's more representative of Overwatch League, as in a actual league rather than tournaments. Maybe that is the way that they need to go again, because I thought, and I still think it's a little bit better than what they're doing right now, especially in practice. On paper, tournaments seem cool. I think having a league that mimics Overwatch League is better, especially for viewership, when you're dragging the casual fans over and making them watch, and well, not making them watch, but incentivizing them to watch Contenders. I think mimicking that is pretty important, and that comes down to like broadcast as well, like with casters and everything else. Like it should be mimicked to a lesser extent, of course, because it is tier 2, but mimicked in a way that casual audiences can gravitate towards that and grab onto it and grasp onto teams and players, etc.
Well, I think they just need to make it more casual friendly. They just make it more casual friendly, because I feel like Contenders is really like I don't even watch Contenders. It's like I don't know anything. I know it's happening, but I don't know. Like, I as a player don't care that much who wins or loses. It doesn't matter to me. I don't feel like anything really matters. Like, okay, sure, they're gonna win. Okay, sure, they're gonna lose. It's nothing. Like back in the day when I would watch Contenders, I would watch like there would be so much hype, like NRG, like these good teams like playing against each other, like who's gonna win. You don't know who's gonna win. Now you know who's gonna win before it happens, most of the time. And it's really boring to watch. And if they make it just more casual friendly, they make it more like you show the brackets, like you show more. They're trying, okay? They're trying. That I can tell you for sure. They're trying. They added the drops. They're making these like events before the contenders happens, like these interviews of players and stuff. But you're still liking these academy teams. That's really important for tier 2 to actually work. Like as I said, maybe if you add more academy teams, you're gonna bring in more people. It's gonna be more exciting for even the more hardcore fan base to watch. Like they're gonna come back, and there's gonna be someone to root for as well. And it's gonna be really exciting. It's really gonna be really fun, and it's gonna inspire people to play and grind more. Because now they can earn money playing tier 2. Now they can't, but if they do it again, they can. They can be like back in the day in tier 2. You would play in tier 2 and you would hope to get picked up in an academy team. But nowadays, you won't get picked up in an academy team pretty much because the roster's already full. They don't need any players. Why would they pick you up?
Yeah.
So you're just playing and you don't have anywhere to go. You just rather just stay with that team and just play with that team. There's nowhere to move. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to work for. You just have fun. You're just like, okay, we're going to have fun. If it happens, it happens. That's it. Like, I don't know. What do you think, Jofi? I'm sure you have many things to say about the tier 2 seed.
I actually don't. I think you guys said it well with the academy teams. Like I would love to see more academy teams, so the competition, like the level would rise. There would be more like good teams, good players would be in one team. Like right now, this team has like two really good players who are like really carrying the team, and this one team has this really good main tank, but with academy teams and with like salary, it's put them together, kinda.
Yeah.
And it makes more competitive environment, and maybe I wouldn't have to play against May One Tricks in contenders.
This is the thing, right? With academy teams comes contracts, comes salary, and what's the problem in contenders, in my opinion, and why the level of play is so low is because you have these players that play on this one team for 1 month, then they're kicked back to contenders trials, and they're on a new team. Every single 2 weeks, I see the same group of players just being on new teams, being recycled every single time, so they never build synergy. And one of the big reasons why Berserk and so dominant is because they've been together for so damn long,
and they've had the resources.
All these other teams, they're just disbanding every month, every 2 weeks, and that's what's hurting right now. Nobody's building up like synergy or team play.
Yeah, but the reason they don't build up and stuff because no contracts, no resources, there's nothing, So why would you not do it? Like, it's easier to just be like, okay, my team sucks, I'm gonna go look for something else, It's like, okay, GR. There's no point in doing this. Do you think what would you do, Jofi, to improve, like, except like the academy teams, like something like? Do you prefer the old system or the new system?
I'm not sure. Like, I don't like the long breaks.
I mean, before there were longer breaks, though.
Huh?
Before there were long.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of preferred the old system, I guess.
Yeah. Do you not like the double elimination tournaments?
I feel like it's. I mean, that part I like. That part I do like, but it's like, I feel like it's hard to follow, kinda, because I feel like contenders is like all over the place. There's no info anywhere. It's hard to follow, and there's like new winner every month, and it gets confusing.
I think it is confusing for sure, and I think it's really.
Tried to explain it to my mom, and it was.
Yeah, how do you explain? Like exactly. For you to understand like what it means, the casual player base and like stuff, just, casual people in general, just try explaining something to your mom. If she gets it, then it's good for casuals. If she doesn't get it, then it's pretty bad for casuals. I think it's a pretty good way to do it. It's a test. It's a stress test for anything. You go explain to your mom, she doesn't understand. Well, then gotta rework it. Go again. It's like, okay, so for me, especially to my friends, okay? So when I try to explain to my friends, contenders and stuff, what happens is like, okay, guys, so first you start off in open division. You play open division for whatever amount of time. Then you make it to open division playoffs. And then from open division playoffs, the top 2 teams, and okay, so it's 2 separate groups and 2 teams from each group make it to or no, something like that. And then they make it to trials, and then these groups are split again. Then the top teams from these groups go to contenders, and then contenders, the top 4 teams stay in contenders. Then the bottom 4 go to trials. I know some. It's like okay, but I don't know. I understand anything, you know. Yeah, it's really wild. I think at least one thing I can say is that Blizzard is trying right now. Blizzard, like back in the day, didn't feel like they were trying, but now I feel like they're trying.
Better, yeah.
They're trying in tier 2. They're trying in meta stuff, ranked in Overwatch League. They tried with the doing the homestands and stuff, but like obviously Corona and stuff. Like they're trying. They're putting in more content. They're also helping out content creators more. Because you see these YouTube videos with like content creators like Karkio and stuff. They put out these videos of tier 2 players as well. You know, make these montages as well. I like it. You know, I think they're heading somewhere, and I'm glad they avoided the break change, because that would be really bad if they didn't. You know, I'm glad they're listening. Yeah, I think we talked about pretty much everything. I personally believe so. Do you have anything to say about anything? You have like. You want to like say hi to your mom or something? I don't know. Hi, mom.
Is this where we do shout outs?
Yeah, do shout outs if you want to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We'll go cheer for the San Francisco Shock next season. We'll
Yeah.
go win 3 times instead of 2 times. It's pretty good.
Free time.
Go follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Boger should raid me more like he did last time. And then, you know, maybe I'll get partner one day and get a cool verified tick.
When you get partnered, just because you're like San Francisco show, can they help
they
you?
don't do that anymore.
They don't
used
do
to
that?
They don't do org partnerships anymore.
Twitch doesn't do it.
That sucks.
Unless you're like sponsored by Twitch, then you can get it. But
Whoa. Does
bad, it's bad.
Twitter do it still?
yeah, Twitter does it.
Okay, that's
But I
weird.
mean, Krusty's not even verified, so I'm not gonna get it.
What do you mean? Show Krusty
Never
who's
know.
the better coach. Get verified before him. Like yeah. Anything else, Casores?
No.
What
Stay
about
hydrated.
what about you, Jules?
Drink water.
Drink water.
Yeah, stay hydrated. If
Uh,
they want me back next year, I'll probably be casting Overwatch again. That'd be fun. We'll have to wait and see. Off season is long and treacherous for casters as well.
players as well. Like one day you
yeah,
have a job, the second
Everybody.
second day you don't have one. It's wild.
Exactly. I'm just chilling, dude. I like the weather right now in LA. It's pretty cool. Follow me on Twitter at JawsCast, Instagram as well at JawsCast, and Twitch at JawsCast. There you go. Easy clap.
Yeah. What about
Almost to 10k followers on Twitter, so that'd be nice.
10k? I'm nowhere close, Jules. Maybe you should shout out me instead.
Follow Bogur on Twitter.
Thank you. Jeez.
You're shouting
There
out
you go.
poker on his own stream. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah. What about
Easy
you?
clap.
What about you, Jofi?
Wait. Let me check when Contenders actually is.
Yeah.
Well,
Go watch
it's-
Contenders, guys.
Oh, it's next week. It's next week. What's Contenders? What's my team? New Kings. We're gonna shit on the ceiling. Follow us on Twitter. I mean, okay. Let me explain. Right.
Uh-huh.
Everyone can pee on the floor. Every average man can pee on the floor, but we are champions and we're gonna shit on the ceiling.
Dumb.
That's
We're-
crazy.
And
If
we're
you
gonna
make it to
roll
Overwatch
Contenders.
League, can you put that in your bio? I'm so good I can shit on the ceiling.
I already have to put something else in my bio if I make the Overwatch League. I have a bet.
You have a bet. Oh, that's wild. Okay. What is your bet, though?
I'm not telling.
It's a secret?
Hey,
Don't
you
worry.
have to pick me up to find out.
I have to pick you up. I'm not in the Overwatch League team. I'm sure Casores can't pick you up after picking up FD God either, you know? I'm sorry, Jofi. You got outplayed by the Frenchie. French frog.
I mean, he's crazy. I don't mind.
He is crazy. He's wild.
He's
So
scary.
Jofi improves, pick up. Jovi
I,
improved.
on Nepal, Sanctum, FD God would play Lucio, and somehow he would like kill your entire team. I don't know how it would work. Like he would like be invisible. You know, you would play Metal Gear Solid. He would be invisible for everyone, and instead of like shooting people, you just like they would get booped in the hole. I was like, okay, I guess go on, FD God, get on with it. Wait, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your stay. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for having this amazing discussion.
No problem.
And I hope you both of you, Jules and Casores, watch Contenders. It's like, yeah. You
I hope
better
you
be
watch
there.
Contenders.
I will
Wacko.
play Contenders.
Yeah, but you're gonna get knocked out pretty.
Hey, hello. You're gonna. Damn. Nope. Doubters. How dare you doubt me? Don't doubt me. Okay. Thank you guys, and see you next time. Okay. Peace out.
See you around.
Bye bye. Bye.
I'm waving as well.
Yeah. Nice waving. Peace out.